Welcome to the Solid Sports and Gaming channel. I'm True West. Thank you for joining me for another presentation of the Solid Sports video blog. This is episode 192. Today's date is August 6th, 2022. Thank you so much for joining me this morning for another sports blog, and appreciate you guys for the support. It's been a real big week of sports. NFL preseason started. A lot of news of Deshaun Watson suspension came down. We'll talk about the latest on that. MLB, the trade deadline has passed. The Padres did a lot of big things. We'll talk about them and the other little deals that was made. Look at the standings, and the great Vin Scully passed away the other day, famous Dodgers broadcaster. Also, we had another big icon pass away last Sunday, Mr. Bill Russell, the great Bill Russell of the Boston Celtics. He passed away last Sunday, so I give my thoughts on both of those men. And LeBron James contract for the NBA, he's eligible for the 2-year extension, but he hasn't signed it yet, so a lot of people speculating, so I guess I try to speculate as well and see what he's going to do. And today is our top 5 receivers list. You will see them today. I will post them on social media later on in the day. Once the video been up for a while, I post it on Twitter, Facebook, and Instagram. So I'll leave my my handles in the description, so you can go check out me on social media. Facebook is weird. Like, I'm getting a lot of weird friend requests, but the other Instagram and Twitter has been fine since I've been on there. So definitely hit me up on there. You'll be able to see the list there, or you can just watch the video, rewind to the near the end, because that's what I'm going to do at the end of the video. So but let's get into it, because we got a lot of stuff to talk about today. Don't want to waste any time. Let's talk about, we always get the baseball out the way first. The trade deadline aftermath, like the Padres won the Juan Soto sweepstakes, so they got Juan Soto from the Nationals. So he joins Manny Machado and Fernando Tatis Jr., who's not, they haven't even played this year yet, but he is designated for assignment this weekend, so he's closer to coming back. So those 3 guys in the lineup with the other pieces around them. They traded Eric Hosmer to Boston, as he voided the trade to Washington. He was going to be a part of the Soto trade, but he voided that trade and accepted it to the Boston Red Sox. But like Luke Voigt, the other batters around those 3 guys, Soto, Tatis, and Machado, should be great. But can they challenge the Dodgers? They picked up Josh Hader as well. Can't forget that. That was sort of a surprise for me, because Milwaukee is sort of in the mix. But now this is just me from the outside looking in. Josh Hader been in a little bit of, I want to say, trouble, but in the All-Star game, what was it, 2 years ago, when they found some old tweets or whatever, or old posts about him being basically saying racist things and other little small things. Maybe they was just ready to move on, so they basically traded closer for closer. But despite all that, he's one of the best in baseball. So you solidify your bullpen. So the Padres are trying to definitely make a run, but can they even get past the Dodgers? It makes them better. Trust me, all these moves makes them better, but I can't guarantee that they better than the Dodgers. The Dodgers are just too deep everywhere. Even though Clay Shaw just went back on the disabled list, but the Dodgers are just too deep. I still think the Dodgers are still slightly better, but this definitely helps the Padres, and hopefully they don't falter. They faltered last year at the end of the season. But it's definitely them 2. The Giants have fell off now, so it's definitely those 2 teams left out west. The National League, like I said, is pretty much set who's going to make the playoffs. It's just about positioning, basically, for the rest of the season now. And speaking of that, let's look at the status. Just other little trades, like me being an Orioles fan, Trey Mancini, but he already made an impact. He got traded to the Houston Astros. We traded our closer to the Minnesota Twins. So the Twins got a little bit better. So but let's check out the standings though. But that was the biggest trade, which Soto name has been in trade rumors for the last year and a half. So but the Padres was able to get him. let's start with the American League. The Yankees continue. They good season, 70-37 to lead the East. And then you got the Blue Jays 10.5 back, Tampa. In third place, Orioles, like I said, still playing well even after the All-Star break, 55-51, and then Boston even at 54-54. So pretty much bunched up. After from second to last place, like I said, 4 of these teams might make the playoffs. As we go look at the wild card status as well in a minute. In the Central is pretty much 3 teams: Minnesota, Cleveland, Chicago. Minnesota's in first place, 2 up on Cleveland and Chicago. White Sox been playing slightly better because they was under 500 for a while. Cleveland been up and down. So is Minnesota too at times. Then you got Kansas City and Detroit, pretty much out of it. West, we got the Houston Astros at 70-38. So Yankees just a half game above them now for the 1 seed in the American League. It means a little bit more this year, the first 2 seeds, because you get sort of like a little bye because now it's 6 teams in the playoffs. So you get to rest up and get your pitcher rotation together. Seattle still hanging in there at 57-50, and then after that's the fall off. Texas, LA Angels, and the Oakland A's all way out of it. And just to throw this out there, which I predicted, no Mike Trout trade, no Satoni trade. But like I said, they're definitely not going. They're going to think about trading a Tony because he brings in a lot more fans. And really, they're the only 2 reasons why Angels fans even going to the games, just to watch them to do something crazy, to do something spectacular. But other than that, you got nothing to go there for. So I'm kind of not surprised that they stayed where they were. National League, Mets 3.5 game lead over my Braves. They had 67-39 to lead the East. Philly 9 back at 58-48. Then it's Miami, and then it's Washington way out at 36. I think they got the worst record in baseball. I think they're the only team that don't have 40 wins yet. So like I said, pretty surprising, but that's the way it goes sometimes. Central even now, St. Louis and Milwaukee tied at 58-48. And then after that is Pittsburgh, Chicago Cubs, and Cincinnati, all just over 40 wins. And then the Dodgers now with the best record in baseball, quietly. Like I mean, even though the Dodgers not quiet, but they've been quietly still just pushing through all the injuries and everything they dealt with. That's why I say this team is just too deep. Even with the Padres making the moves that they made, and they still 13.5 clear of them. So Giants, like I said, fell back down to earth. They 51-55. And then you got Arizona, Colorado with 47 wins apiece. Arizona slightly better with 4 less losses. So now let's look at the wild card. Like I said, it's different this year. It's 3 wild card teams. So we're going to look at the American League first. Once it loads. Okay. So the 3 teams of right now is Toronto plus 2.5. Then it's Tampa and Seattle. Orioles 1.5 back. Cleveland, Chicago 2.5. Boston at 3.5. Then you got Texas at 9.5. Only Michigan because it's less than 10 games. But I think those teams after Boston, I think that's it. I think the rest of the teams definitely don't have a chance. Yeah, the wild card in the American League gonna be crazy. National League, like I said, I think my Braves gonna hold on. They probably catch the Mets, but I can't guarantee that. But I think we'd definitely be one of these wild card teams. I think the Padres as well. I think they definitely gonna make the playoffs as well as a wild card at least. I think the battle is gonna be between the Phillies and either St. Louis or Milwaukee. I think they're gonna fight for that last spot. Well, one of the St. Louis and Milwaukee, one of them gonna make the playoffs as a division winner. But I think whoever don't, it's gonna be them and the Phillies fight for that final spot. Giants still 7.5 back, but I just think the Giants. This is the Giants that people would expect it to see. I think they ain't gonna come back. They seven back, but I don't think they're gonna get in. So so that's your baseball update for the week. I mentioned Vin Scully. Vin Scully, I heard about him, like, of course, because I live in the East Coast, so I didn't hear him a lot. I heard him a few times, like, live, because I think he did some World Series, I think, a few times, back in the 90s, probably. I probably heard him, but yeah, his past is definitely big. I aspire to be a broadcaster, so I respect all the legendary broadcasters, and he was one of them, especially in baseball. That's why I look up to, like, Marv Albert in the NBA. I would say he's the most recognizable voice. And in football, you gotta say it's John Madden, of course. But as far as, like, I would say Jim Nantz. I think Jim Nantz, to be, you hear his voice, you know it's the NFL, in my opinion. Joe Buck as well has established himself too. But far as, like, our African American broadcasters, like, Mike Tirico say he ain't black, but I must call him black for this conversation. No offense, but Mike Tirico, I love Gus Johnson. He's very animated. I like him. But hopefully that'll be a dream I can reach one day. That's sort of the reason why I do this, to try to, practice. I practice, you can go watch some of my sports videos, video game, like MLB The Show, and I'm doing Madden in a couple weeks. So, I'll be calling a few games, play by play. That's something I always wanted to do, so, yeah, the Dodgers celebrated him last night, because it was the first time being home, since then, so, but definitely, even if you're not a big sports fan, you probably heard of Vin Scully, and rest in peace to him. I think he was 92 years old. I know he was in his 90s when he passed. But he just retired like a couple years ago, so he hasn't even been stopped broadcasting for too long. So he'll definitely be missed. He's definitely an icon in the sports world. And we're going to transition to another sports icon that passed away as we get into our NBA talk now. Bill Russell passed away last Sunday at the age of 89 years old. Like I said, well, we'll talk about the player, but the man was definitely bigger than the player. But like I said, to tell the story again, I did a report on the NBA my senior year at high school. So I did a lot of reading on NBA history, because that's what it was on. I got to choose which I wanted to write my report on, thank God. So I did a report on NBA history, and I read pretty much from the beginning of the league to now, and how Boston Celtics dominated in the late 50s and pretty much through all the 60s. They won 8 straight titles. Now, the league was not the league today, of course. Back then, I think it was only like 8 teams, 8 to 10 teams at the time, until they started expanding more and more and more. But basically, it was him and Wilt Chamberlain, Bill Russell and Wilt Chamberlain. But he got the best of Wilt Chamberlain. Wilt Chamberlain was, if you heard of him, he was dominant, averaging 50 points a game in seasons, scored 100 points in the game. But when he went against Bill Russell, now Bill Russell had a good team around him as well. Bob Cousy, I think John Havlicek, I think later in the later part of that era. Casey Jones, like a lot of Hall of Famers on this team, according to self. But he did do a lot of scoring. I think he only averaged 15 points a game for his career, but I think he averaged over 20 rebounds. Which just to hear that, even hear that stat, it's like, wow, like nobody rarely get 20 rebounds in a game, in today's game. But he was definitely dominant on the court. But forget that, like what he was as a man, he was lock and step with the civil rights movement during that time. So imagine trying to play sports. That's why I give these athletes credit, like Muhammad Ali, Kareem Abdul-Jabbar should be celebrated more. Jackie Robinson, like the guys that, you know, paved the way for us in the sports world. It was unbelievable. He still was able to focus and play good basketball. And then when he got older, you know, because, you know, like I said, I'm only 38, be 39 this year, so I definitely did see him play. By the time I got to see, Bill Russell was doing the All-Star break when, you know, the All-Star game where they bring all the old players back. When they did the 50, they just did the 75-year anniversary for the 75 greatest players. They did the 50 greatest. I remember him there, just at All-Star games, sort of witty, you know, joking around, playing around with Kevin Garnett when Kevin Garnett got to the Celtics. So he had a big impact on the game. A lot of people looked up to him. But I went on a little rant on Facebook and Instagram. I think I still got it posted. Just how, just look at all people as a whole, how we need to get better. I think if any of civil rights leaders will see this, Dr. King, he was something that's alive. We could probably ask a Kareem Abdul-Jabbar. He might be honest with you. Mr. Russell, Muhammad Ali, who was passed. He passed a few years ago. I think he passed in 2017 or 2016. I think it was 2016 when Muhammad Ali passed away. Yeah, I want to say it was 2016. But yeah, like, man, like, you know, just I live in Baltimore, so I can only speak for where I live. It's terrible. Like, our school systems is bad. We kill each other every day. And I was just pretty much asked the question, like, how, you know, do you think we took a step back as a people? You know, did we take advantage of them sacrificing themselves? I don't think so. I just don't think so. I think even with myself, there's days I could probably do better in my life, you know, to make things better, you know, and I don't have all the answers. I'm just, you know, just speaking on the outside looking in, dealing with all the murders and everything every night here. Like our leaders, most of our leaders are black, you know, our mayor's black, you know, our police, you know, it's just bad. So it just made me think like, dang, you know, every day that he did back during that time, you know, wasn't wasted. That's all I was pretty much trying to ask. And I think some people was turned off by that, but, you know, people don't like to hear the truth sometimes. Just checking to make sure we got a lot of time. We got a lot of time left. But I definitely looked up to Bill Russell. Of course, he wasn't during my time as far as a basketball fan, but as far as what I heard that he did for the civil rights movement, I definitely tip my cap off to him. So he will be missed as well. He was a big icon in the sports world, not even just basketball, just all over the world. And he lived a while. You know, I was still surprised by his age. You know when he passed. But they say he passed peacefully, so that's always, you know, that's positive you take out of it. But he's definitely gonna be missed. I know the NBA probably gonna celebrate him, at least probably to start the season, or maybe the whole season. They might do something for him. They got to. He's definitely one of the greatest ever. Like I said, he's on my top 10 list. I think he was number 8. Just in front of Wilt in chat, because I had to put him on Wilt because he beat Wilt. You know, he used to beat Wilt all the time. So, but rest in peace, Bill Russell. Definitely for our black community, definitely was a big, you know, hard news to take. I was you're shocked when you hear things like that. So, rest in peace. Condolences to his family, Vin Scully as well. It's always hard. Death is hard. You know, you only get one life. That's true. You know, so yeah, never be another Bill Russell. And thank you for everything you did for the civil rights movement, the black community, and the NBA, because it wouldn't be the NBA without you either. So thanks, Bill. So just not a lot of other NBA news, just the same rumors going around that Kevin Durant still ain't traded yet. Now I talked about the Philadelphia tampering thing. I don't, you know, so there's nothing going on, just a bunch of gossip. But basically the big topic this week was about LeBron James now eligible for the 2-year extension with the Lakers. Now a lot of people, you know, always try to speculate what LeBron going to do. So before I give my prediction, I don't know what LeBron going to do. I don't. So like I was. Well, when he got to the Lakers, I wasn't surprised, but the other moves he made, like when he went to Miami, and back to Cleveland, I was like, I didn't think he would. Especially, I didn't think he was going to go back to Cleveland. I really didn't. I was really surprised by that. The Miami they didn't surprise me as much. I just thought he would never leave Cleveland at all. But once he left Cleveland, I didn't think he would come back, and he wound up doing that. The Lakers one, it was more almost an obvious move. He got other business ventures in Los Angeles, so that's why I don't really think, because now there's rumors coming up, is he gonna go back to Cleveland? No, I definitely don't think so. Even though Cleveland got a good team right now, that he might kind of improve it, but no, I don't think he's going back to Cleveland. I mean, I think this is what I think. If he got time to sign this. I mean, he can play through the whole season, so he got time to think. But I think if he don't sign it, I think he might be thinking about retiring. Like, you know, he might think about retiring. The other notion out there, he want to wait for his son Bryce. No, Brody Jr. I'm sorry, Bryce is the youngest son, I believe. To go to the NBA. So they possibly play together, or at least play at the same, play in the league at the same time, which I think would be a first. I think in the NBA, father something. I know it's happened in the MLB. I think it's happened in hockey, but I don't think it happened in basketball or football. That the son and the father play at the same time, even in forget the same team, but in the league. But they said, but LeBron got enough power. He might can make that happen. Him be on, if he want to play for the Lakers, get Bronny on the Lakers. Bronny's pretty good. I don't know what he is as a prospect or whatever. How they rank the high school players and stuff, but he's pretty good. I've seen him play a little bit, so he don't just got the name. No offense to LeBron, I think he already can shoot better than LeBron can. So, but we'll see that notion, will that happen or not. But I think everybody jumping to conclusions. So I think he might just be thinking about retiring. I mean, that's my thing. If he's gonna take his time, because he probably want to see how this year goes. He might just play out the rest of his contract and retire. So we'll see. But other than that, just a bunch of NBA chatter, same old. I'm starting to think the Rat though, not going to get moved. I don't know, but we'll keep an eye on that though. But he definitely wants out. One thing I say about the Rat, once he make a decision, he don't flip flop. So I think it's going to be a problem for the Nets eventually, if they don't move him. So, but if there's any other NBA news this week, we'll definitely cover that. Alright, so let's get into the NFL. We got some NFL news as well. Preseason started Thursday with the Hall of Fame game. A tradition that the NFL do every year. It used to be on Sunday nights. If some people ordered up, they just started this Thursday thing. So now it's a Thursday night game. It was the Jacksonville Jaguars and the Las Vegas Raiders. Be honest with you, the game was kind of boring. I fell asleep after halftime. Only thing that came out the game, the backup Stidham kind of looked a little sharp for the Raiders. Former Patriots, so they made a big deal out of that. But he did look good though. But nobody played their starters, so this was just a warm-up game. But it's still good to watch some football, NFL football. But I ain't gonna lie, I fell asleep. I didn't see the second half. So next week will be the main cards. Well, the rest everybody else start their preseason. So at least no major injuries yet. That's the thing you gotta look for, these training camps. Is the injuries, so no major injuries for nobody yet, thank goodness. Just some little problems with Matthew Stafford. They reported that he got a tender elbow, so that's something to look out for. I think he's gonna be fine. Like he has dealt with a lot of injuries when he was in Detroit. I think he'll be fine though. I think he'll be ready for the season. I think that's all they worry about, if he's gonna be ready for the season. The Rams, of course, really got probably the best chance in a while. That's a team got a chance to repeat. That's never happened since 2004 with the New England Patriots. But I think the way the NFC set up, the Rams can at least get back there. I don't know if they'll win the game or who they play, or we'll see who emerges from the AFC. But definitely not other than the division, which they is still in a tough division, even though Seattle is taking a step back. The Cardinals got a lot of questions as well. So do the Niners, as now they turn to Trey Lance. So it's set up for the Rams to win this division again. But after that, you look around the NFC, really the only team you can pretty much know that's going to be something is Tampa. And Green Bay. I would give Aaron Rodgers his credit, but I just think that they Devonte Adams, losing him is a big hole, and I'm going to tell you why. Well, you're going to see why when I do my top 5 wide receiver list in a few minutes. But to get that stuff out the way, Deshaun Watson suspicion came down this week. I think it was Tuesday. 6-game suspension. But then the NFL appealed. They waited a whole day to appeal, but they appealed it. So, like I said, I'm going to stick with my prediction. A lot of people think now that they're appealing it, they're going to jump it all the way to a year. I still don't think so. I think it's going to be about between 8 and 10 games. I don't think they're going to do a whole year. If she only had 6, it's going to be hard to push that all the way up to the whole season. So I just believe, in my opinion, I won't be too surprised, because like a lot of people, the narrative is the outcry, I should say, from the public that he deserves a year. And I don't got no skin in no game with this. Like I said, I've read some of the things he's accused of, so yeah, he deserved to get punished for sure. There's just so many women. Like, if it was, I'm not saying it is, if it was less women that it would be less of a crime, but I mean, when you got 25 women, I think it was close to 30, I think. They some of them didn't file claims or anything. But I mean, it's just, it was just something he was doing. It's not, you can't deny that. So, but I think it's going to be about 10. I think 10 games at the most. If it's more than that, I'd be somewhat surprised. But now I'm starting to hear the outside, so they might try it. And then I guess, I don't know if Deshaun can appeal that, or did he have to appeal this? I don't know. I think he would get a chance to appeal it. But I think whatever it is, I think he should just take it. Don't try to appeal. If it's wound up being a year, then obviously so be it. I think you got to take your medicine. Now, I hear some people pretty much saying that, you know, this is really, they say he should, I heard about, I'd be in this chat room, and there was some, well, it mostly was men, I'm going to give it perspective, just to be fair, that they would say he shouldn't get suspended at all. Like, you know, he ain't get criminally charged. So that should be that. You know, maybe he should just get a fine. I think that's the most some of the men were saying. I can't agree with that. He had to get some games. Just the embarrassment part alone. He should get some games suspended. So I don't agree with that. But far as the other narrative that was out there by some of these guys were saying, he missed out on last year. I don't agree with that. That basically last year should count. So he already missed the year. No, he was out because Houston, he didn't want to play there, first of all, and then Houston didn't want him around. So it was more of a mutual thing. He wasn't suspended. Houston could have played him if they wanted to, or could have made him play, or if he wanted to play, he could have played last year. He didn't want to, and Houston didn't want him around. So you can't. He missed a year because he wanted to. So you can't count. So last year don't count to me. So that's why I think he should get something. But I think it's gonna wind up being 10 games. That's just my opinion. But this probably gonna drag out through the whole preseason. I don't know how long it takes the appeal process to go through. But it's crazy though. Like he did this to himself. He got to take some responsibility for putting himself in the situations. But you know, I kind of get the other side, because you know, it's like it's just, I mean, me as a man, you know, me saying it probably don't mean anything. You know, I don't want to dismiss the women that was harmed by this. Some women say they, you know, that they really traumatized by this. It makes them don't want to do their job because you massage it, you know. Now, me speaking as a man, you know, I don't, that's why I don't pretty much let anybody massage me. I let somebody massage me that I want massaging me, if you know where I'm going, because massaging, you know, get the juices flowing. I'm just gonna put it that way. So I'm just being real on that. But yeah, that's why I couldn't probably go to a professional massager. Like, it'd be too awkward for me, like, cause you know I feel a certain way, you know. So I don't know if that's what was going on, but they say he revealed this, you know, he poured this stuff out and all this other stuff he was doing. So he gotta take responsibility for it. So if he, like I said, he'll probably wind up getting 8 to 10. But if they push it to the year, he just gotta take it and just move on, just work hard, stay in shape, be ready for next season. For looking at it as far as a football standpoint, but if he is, let's just say he missed the 6 games, that's the easy part of the schedule. So I think that's why some people have to admit this too. Like, some people just, I'm a Ravens fan, so they right in my division. So I'm still speaking objectively here. Like, I don't want to, you know, if he does his time, I want him to see him play. Because the Browns, you know, like I said, with Chubb and Hunt back there, demonstrating for Amari Cooper, they got a good team on the field. Myles Garrett probably gonna be even better. Defensive Player of the Year candidate. So the Browns, there's nothing to sneeze at. Really much there'd be a 3-team race between the Browns, Ravens, and the Bengals in the Central. I think Pittsburgh not that bad either. They just need a quarterback. So that division's gonna be rough. But I think the Browns have a great shot if Deshaun even gets back within these 6 games. But of course, it's going up past that. So that's the latest on that. You know, I did a couple of shorts on it this week. If something changed, I'll probably do another short just to get my thoughts on it. So look out for that. Alright, so now, without further ado, let's get to our top 5 NFL receivers list. I'm going to start from 5 and go on up. I've been doing a list every week. Excuse me. Just got an alert on my phone. Sorry about that. I've been doing a list every week. I did quarterbacks 2 weeks ago. I did running backs last week. I'm doing receivers this week. I'm gonna do tight ends next week. Then I'm gonna do defenses after that, and then that'll be it. The preview show is the Wednesday for the season, so I think that's the 8th of September. I probably just do it live. I might do it on live on Twitch and on YouTube. I might just do it live, so I don't have to worry about the time. I can talk. If everybody want to come in and say some things, they can. I probably Twitch it from my phone. I probably set my phone up somewhere, have a camera on me, and then still do it this way, but I'll do it live. Pardon me again, but yeah, we're gonna do the 5 through 1 with Tyreek Hill, starting off at number 5 for the Miami Dolphins. Just what he's done the last few years. Now going to the Dolphins, let's see if he can handle that with a different quarterback other than Pat Mahomes. That's the question about Tyreek. But he's been talking a lot during this offseason, that you probably heard. He's been doing a lot of talking. So, and I like Tua though. I like Tua Tagovailoa. I don't think he's bad. I just think we just need a little bit more seasoning. Protect him a little bit better, and I think he could be a serviceable quarterback in the NFL. But he's not Patrick Mahomes, so I think can Tyreek Hill make that adjustment and still be productive? I think he can. He's fast. You know how fast he is, so that's no question. But he's a good route runner too. Underrated route runner, possession receiver. So, and everything he's done the last few years, I had to put him in the top 5. He's number 5. Number 4, Stephon Diggs of the Buffalo Bills. Last year, but especially the year before, where he's pretty much by himself. This guy attacks the ball when it's in his vicinity. He's a great route runner. He make big plays where you need him to make them. Definitely elevated Josh Allen. Bills got a lot of expectations though this year. Some people even think it's Super Bowl. So can Diggs and Allen and the Bills handle that pressure? We'll see. But even when he was in Minnesota, he was a great receiver. I think he's definitely top 5 of what he's done the last few years. So I got him number 4. Number 3, DeAndre Hopkins, Arizona Cardinals. He go to miss the first 6 games. He got popped for some type of PED issue, so he had missed the first 6 games. But he always been one of my top receivers because especially was in Houston, all the different quarterbacks he had to play with and still put up the numbers that he put up. It's just unbelievable. Now he's with Kyler Murray. Kyler Murray just signed a big deal. I think he can help Kyler Murray improve in his career. They just signed Hollywood Brown on the other side. Hollywood Brown will have to, do a lot of work though to start the season. But even when DeAndre get back, I think he's gonna step right in and give you what he give you. Tall, can go get the ball. Clutch receiver where you need a first down, somebody to go to. Definitely bailed Kyler Murray out a few times. So, and just pure talent-wise, I just think he's a top 5 receiver. So he's number 3 on my list. Number 2, Cooper Kupp of the LA Rams. Gotta give him his credit. Broke the receiver yards record in that offense, in that McVay offense. Won the Super Bowl, of course, with Matthew Stafford. He made some big catches in the playoffs last year. The big catch in Tampa. He made a big catch in the Super Bowl as well. So very underrated. I mean, if you put him up against these guys on this list, you probably think, well, he ain't, the talent probably don't match. But as far as his elite route running, great hands, they'll never see him drop any balls. Especially last year, not really having Odell Beckham came later, but most of that season they lost Robert Woods, they lost some receivers, and he had to pretty much be the go-to guy. You knew he was getting the ball, he still was able to get open. So and then, like I said, just the monster season he had last year, was pretty much an MVP candidate. So I got to give him his due. He's number 2. And number 1 for me, Devonte Adams, now of the Las Vegas Raiders. He's number 1 for me. If you look at his numbers, he's been the best receiver in football the last 2-3 years. Yeah, he played with Aaron Rodgers, but still, it's just like Cooper Kupp. There was really no second receiver, no consistent second receiver in Green Bay. He was the number 1 guy, and he still dominated, put up the numbers that he put up. So I got to give him his due. Now he's changing teams as well. He's going to Derek Carr, and I like Derek Carr. I think Derek Carr is a good quarterback. Like I said earlier this year, when he got his contract, big contract. I did a short order to somebody when a Raiders fan came in there and wasn't happy with it. I was like, why? Like, where else you gonna go? Who else you gonna go to? Who you got in mind to replace him? So. But he's definitely better than his brother too. I always throw that joke out there that David Carr. But David Carr got it. It was different. He was coming into a expansion team. Texas was just getting their feet wet in the NFL. So maybe if he went to a better situation, he probably could have had a better career. But all that being said, I just think Devonte. Then you look at just pure talent. Kind of tall, kind of similar to DeAndre. Kind of tall, got speed. I gave playing in Green Bay, even though now he's in a nice city in Vegas, but just everything he did at Green Bay with all the pressure, I had to put him number 1. So and there's a lot of guys, a lot of honorable mentions. Justin Jefferson from Minnesota, and Adam Thielen. Adam Thielen, I think, is very underrated as a receiver. So those 2 guys. The rookie Jamar Chase, he ain't a rookie now, but the monster season he had last year for the Bengals. There's a lot of young receivers in the NFL, and this list could be completely different next year. Going into next year, there's a lot of guys. Just trying to think of some more guys that could be on this list. Who else? I still like Odell Beckham. I mean, even though he's a free agent, I still think he's really talented. Amari Cooper probably should get some love. A lot of people got CeeDee Lamb, but I think there's more predicting that he's going to have a big year this year. for the Cowboys. Like I said, McClendon from for Washington for the Commanders. He's a good receiver. I mean, it's a lot of guys that could have been on this list. A lot of young guys coming up. This list could be completely different next year. So it's no argument. Like if somebody say Jamar Chase a top 5 receiver, wouldn't argue with him. Somebody say Justin Jefferson. I think they're the two ones that a lot of people probably gonna bring up because those two guys are unbelievable. Especially Justin Jefferson. I think the whole Minnesota offense is underrated because of they don't make the play. They make the playoffs and they don't win. So. But it's a lot of guys that deserve to be on this list. The young kid from Philadelphia, Smith. So it's a lot of guys. There's a lot of guys that could be on this list. So, but mine's is Tyreek Hill at number 5. I got number 4 Stephon Diggs for the Bills at number 4. DeAndre Hopkins for the Cardinals at number 3. Cooper Kupp for the Rams at number 2, and Devonte Adams number 1 from the Raiders, formerly the Packers, but first year with the Las Vegas Raiders. So that's my top 5 list. I posted on all my social media outlets later on today. I want to give people a chance to watch the channel. Watch the video. So I'm not going to post it immediately. But I thank you guys so much for joining me, as we are already pretty much done. Made some good time today. So let me give you an update on the channel. Didn't do it last 2 days. Haven't done a lot of videos. Partly because, like I said, I usually be doing it around work. So one of my videos I messed up. Deleted it by mistake. And then if it was a Sonic Origins video, I would have to go all the way back and play the game all the way over again. So I might just skip it and move on. Play the next zone. But it'll be a lot more videos of that. A lot more videos, Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, Shredder's Revenge. So those 2 games ain't going nowhere. You'll see a lot more videos of that. But both. Like I said, Madden is coming in a few weeks. So I'm going to be doing some Madden content. So look out for that. We're going to be doing a lot of sports content in the fall. NBA 2K. Invest in that as well. So there's 2 games you're going to see. I guess I call it bad news, but I had a plan because I upgraded my PlayStation Plus so I can get the classic games, right? But they streamed in the game. They're not actually, you don't actually download the game. They're being streamed in, so I can't share. Because I was going to play God of War 2. I had that all ready to go and play it. Now, what I'm thinking about doing is still playing it, but just streaming it on Twitch. So that's a possibility. But other than that, I can't do my normal on YouTube due to the I can't share the games. So that kind of sucked. I was a little bit disappointed in that. But that's fine. I might still, like I said, feature the game another way, or I might just, like I said, do it through my phone. So there's other ways I might could do it just a little bit harder, but if I could do it, I'm willing to try. So it's something I'll probably try out. So it's not completely off the table yet. It's just going to be in a different format. That's all. But we'll see how that goes as well. Just something, just honestly, just last couple of days were kind of rough. Had a little bit of a breakdown. Like I said, a little depressed. Like I said, it's been a rough week. Dealing with things, personal things, just people in my life. It's just, it's just a little tough sometimes. But I'm still pushing through it. I'm still gonna put up content. I'm not gonna go away. Just gonna push through it. Just some days I gotta improve on my own. But yeah, sometimes I just, I just get a little down, and so the last 2 days ain't been great. But I'm feeling okay today, to be honest. Maybe because I was doing a blog today, so that's why I like doing these, because it's always cheer me up a little bit. It's good to talk about sports and just talk, period. So so I'm feeling pretty good so far today. But I apologize, well, yesterday, like I said, yesterday was more just that messed that video up, and Then by the time I wanted to do something else, just didn't have the time to do it. So I might take a little power nap and get up and knock a couple of videos out, because tomorrow I'm definitely not doing anything. Tomorrow I work all day, so I'm not posting any videos tomorrow. I'm thinking about going live tomorrow though. I might go live tomorrow night. Call of Duty. Call of Duty is just easier to go live on. I'm thinking about doing Turtles live, Shredder's Revenge live. So just a possibility. That's not nothing written in stone. But like I said, I thank you guys so much for the support. Our goal now is 200 by August. I'm gonna set my goal a little higher this time. We is at 100. We only at 101. Been on a standstill for a couple of days, but hopefully, like I said, once Madden comes, I'll probably get a new audience. Hopefully I get some subscribers. Then I'm going to play franchise mode, probably play some online as well, and share it with you guys. So just thanks so much for the support. Trust me, I really appreciate it. Shout out to Helping Hearts 888 for the cost of support. She always pushing me. She actually tried to push me yesterday. You know, but yeah, I'm not gonna quit. I'm gonna keep going, keep doing what I want to do, because actually, like I said, this is an outlet for me when I am feeling down. This is what I turn to feel better. So shout out to her. Shout out to Garrett Spencer, Retro Gamer. He put out some good content this week. Go check his channel out. That's why I want to get more subscribers too, because I can start. It'd be easier to shout out people, you know, or you know, I could post something in the community, and it'd be so much easier to do it that way than to just saying it or just trying to type it in the description. So thanks so much. Shout out to TB Community. We talked this week. She must be a really busy person, but hopefully she'll reach out to me sooner than later. But just thank everybody for support. Like I said, I'm gonna put my social media in the description, so join me on either Facebook, Instagram, or Twitter. I'm gonna put the list up later, probably sometime in the evening. And I thank you guys. Y'all enjoy your week. Be safe out there. One more thing, there's been a lot of bad storms on the East Coast this week, probably all over the country, but especially in the East Coast, people lost their lives. People still without power. So keep them people in your thoughts. If you know somebody that might need help, or just somebody you need to check on, or if you ain't heard from them, just give a check on them. You know, see how they doing. Now we was lucky. Well, I guess I'm in Baltimore, but we was lucky. It wasn't that bad. Especially on the west side. I'm in the west side of Baltimore, but I heard the east side got it pretty bad. I know some people over there with no power. The county that's around the county's got it really, really bad. Like I said, some people lost their lives, some people got hit by lightning. So just, you know, I just want to throw that out there, that y'all people in my thoughts. If you got a family member or somebody that you ever heard from sort of weirdly, definitely check on them, make sure they all right. So with that being said, that's how we're going to end the video. I'm Troy West. I thank you guys so much for watching. I appreciate all the support as always. We'll be back next week. Sorry about that, my controller fell. And like I said, check out my social media, and thank you guys so much. You guys enjoy your week. Peace and love always, and I'll talk to you guys in the next video. Thank you so much.